So I want to start off this video by number one, thanking all of you guys for showing support and positivity down below in the comment section, because that's the only real feedback that I get on a broad scale. If we're talking thousands of people that watch most of these videos, that's the only real feedback you get. And while a lot of people are negative, I do recognize the positive comments, and I've been trying to initiate more of those here in these videos because I think you guys really deserve recognition. Even though we're all down on our positions, we've all lost money so far, unless you've been insanely lucky getting in and out, which vast majority of us have not done, then I get it. There's a reason to be negative. There's a reason to spread hate in the comment section. I get it. I 100% do. But thank you for those of you guys that are positive, respectful, and looking forward to the next thing, the next catalyst, the next bullish event, the next bearish event for that matter. I just want to say thank you. I started making YouTube videos with no intent to ever make a dollar. And trust me, I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a lot you make by making these videos. And I have another full-time job. Let's be honest. I mean, I make a lot more from that. This is more or less a hobby and a passion. And for the amount of work that goes into it, it's not fairly compensated. And I just want people to kind of realize that. And, you know, when you're going to write that negative comment, realize it's not worth it in the grand scope of things to get the kind of hate and feedback. People that make these videos, for the most part, in this community, are doing it because they love the community. Now, that's not the reason why I started making YouTube videos. The reason I started making YouTube videos is because, to be quite honest with you guys, might sound stupid, December 27th, 2020, there was a lot going on, obviously, in the markets, and nobody in my personal life wanted to talk about the markets. Nobody invests in stocks. Nobody invests in real estate. I own several rental properties and portfolios, right? Nobody was interested in that. So I figured this was the best way that I could communicate with other people and kind of get this off my chest, for lack of a better word. This is kind of like therapy to me in a weird way, I guess, if you want to call it that. This is my passion. This is my hobby. This is what I like to do. So regardless if I got paid or not, this is what I would do. And if you guys want an earnings breakdown, we can do that as well. That's a for sure possibility. If you guys want that down below in the comment section, just let me know and we'll provide that for you guys. But bottom line, it's not about anything else, but this is what I love to do. And I love you guys, and especially the ones that are positive down below. So I just wanted to kind of get a few things off my chest here in the intro of this video. Hopefully I didn't lose too many of you guys, because we're going to be going over kind of a price prediction for this week. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm actually becoming a financial advisor. I'm taking a class and then getting there, but I'm not yet. And even if I was, I cannot give you guys broad financial advice. But we're going to go over the data here, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion on what could happen with AMC stock this week. As you guys do know, I'm sure by now, this is the biggest week for AMC stock that we have had really ever. This week could mark the start of the MOS, or it could be a big downside week. And we're going to go over both of those scenarios. Now, in the event this is a downside week, I think the ultimate silver lining is if AMC does pay off a massive amount of debt and they have billions in the bank and they can get to a place of profitability or free cash flow positive, then that short thesis is out the window and shorts will cover on their short positions. Again, who knows what catalyst that would be at the time, but it's coming. Eventually, it's coming. If we're all wrong, I mean, that would be just very unlucky, right? To see these things and to have a community like this. And just on another note, I think a lot of people forget how big this community actually is. Not just the people that are in the comment section, not just the people that watch these videos, but everyone. in the investment community knows about AMC. They know about this trade. They want to be a part of this trade when it happens. Not everybody is invested in AMC all the time, but bet your ass that hedge funds, institutional investors, market makers, literally everyone involved in financial markets, not every single person obviously, but a lot of people are going to participate in this trade on an upside move when that move comes, for whatever reason causes that move. And that's something you should not forget. I think there is a massive power force behind that relative to some small penny stock here and there. There's not a community behind that. People, average Americans, or Canadians, or wherever you're from, they don't know about the random penny stock, but odds are they know about AMC and GME. That's what gives these two names specifically, and we're going to group GME in that as well. This specific trade, this I don't even know the right word to formulate for it. Just call it a trade. Literally everyone knows, and I think there's a huge power behind that. Now, nonetheless, let's kind of give you guys a preview of what we're going to talk about here in this video. Now, I can't find the comment. It literally just came across my phone, actually, and I thought it was a great comment. And if you're watching this video and you commented this, post it down below in the comment section. I want to know who made this comment. I literally just cannot find it. I don't know if it was on an old video or what it is, but they basically commented and wanted clarity on kind of, if this reverse split does not happen, how long could AMC actually remain in business? Like, do they need this to go through to avoid bankruptcy? And that's why I have AMC's balance sheet pulled up right here. And we'll briefly talk about that. We're going to go over some of the major events happening this week. Obviously, Tuesday is going to be one of them. But as well as that, some of the specific data that will be taking place and coming out here in the markets that could also move AMC. Give you guys a rundown of the FTDs, the Stonk tracker data, as well as the ortex data. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Number one, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Now, if you guys want to take it a step further, don't have to. If you want to, it's a tool that you can use. Never financial advice. I post my trades every time I make a trade. Link down below in the description of this video in the trading community. So, first things first, I want to start off with this, and I kind of paraphrase the comment because I just spent like the last 20 minutes trying to find the comment and I could not. But it was a very sincere comment, and I do want to acknowledge it to the best of my abilities. So, AMC, yes, they've been losing money. Now, Adam Aaron forecasts that AMC will be free cash flow positive in 2023. Now, free cash flow positive is important because that means they are able to sustain the business. Now, if we're looking at full years here, this is the annual balance sheet of AMC. Sales and revenue look pretty good. Since 2019, that came in at about $5.5 billion, and it really was around $5.5 billion for like years. I mean, this is crazy. The difference between 2018 and 2019's overall revenue numbers was 10 million. It was a very consistent business at the very least. And then COVID hit and you dropped to about $1.25 billion. 2021, $2.5 billion. 2022, $3.9 billion. 2023, I would imagine, is going to be around 4.5 to as high as 6 billion. That would be, or 5.5 billion, basically back to pre-COVID levels. If these films that are going to theaters kind of meet the expectations that we have for them. And even a lot of second tier movies that have come out recently, that come out in between big blockbuster films, have done very well in 2023. So I don't think this is going to be a big concern in the grand scope of things. This number will go higher, likely well into the mid, $4 billion range. So I think that's a positive, right? Business fundamentally improving on the top line revenue numbers. Now, the problem that I really see here in the balance sheet, and this is the income statement to be more precise, is the where is it? Obviously, net income. If you look at these numbers, AMC lost 4.5 billion in 2020. They lost 1.2 billion in 2021. 974 million in 2022. Still, that's far too much. Now, their interest expenses are very high. It comes in at about $379 million for 2022, but they would still be negative around $600 million for full year 2022. Now, 2022 is interesting because you did not have that many films that went to movies or theaters that were big movies. Now, I think these numbers are going to look a lot better in 2023, but look at this, the EBITDA. So this stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. That came in at positive $9 million for 2022, which is very minuscule, right? On a quarter by quarter basis, divide that by 4, you're looking at like $2.2 million per quarter. They were EBITDA positive. Now, this number is really what you need to see flip. EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes. That was negative $387 million. Now, I think this is going to be a positive number in 2023, and it all comes down to obviously how well the box office does. But I do think they're much closer to a sustainable level. Now, sustainable level is the domestic box office hitting around 10, call it in between 9 and 11 billion dollars. That's really the number that AMC needs. AMC, the movie theater industry, is not quite there yet, but when we get free cash flow positive, which will happen in 2023, that's when some of these bankruptcy concerns will start to kind of go away, and I do expect that to happen in 2023. Now, the comment specifically that was posted on the video said AMC only roughly has about 3 quarters worth of cash left, so by November they would be running out of money. Now, kind of not, depends how the box office actually does do, but they're not in dire financial straits right now. Yeah, the situation doesn't look too well, but I think they're doing what they can to get to a free cash flow basis. And I think we've seen that, and I think we'll continue to see that. And if we don't get the reverse split, if we don't get these proposals, right, to let AMC raise a lot of capital, number one, the share price of AMC is going to go a lot higher from here, right? And AMC will be able to extract some equity and capital out of that rally, and that would definitely help AMC be able to sustain itself until they are free cash flow positive. But I do think they will be free cash flow positive in 2023, so that's really not something I like to kind of worry about all too much. I think we'll be okay in that regard. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the Ortex data, give you guys a brief rundown. Estimated short interest of free float sitting at $678.08 million. Estimated short interest of free float at 26.42%. Free float out on loan at 37.45%. 193.4 million shares that are currently out on loan. 5.26 days to cover with a utilization of 100%. Cost to borrow rates, if we look over here, in between about 236% on the low end, cost to borrow average at 351%, cost to borrow max at 364%. So numbers looking very good and very healthy over here, and you do have 135.88 million shares that are currently sold short, like we have very well reported to you guys over the last couple of videos, last couple of days. Short sellers have lost about $1.91 billion just to cost to borrow fees alone in 2023, not to mention the fact that AMC stock has rallied higher. So you're seeing a lot of pressure put here, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Tuesday. If the judge does not side with AMC and this arbitrage trade and the shorts here, and they side with retail investors, and they delay the court process, or they give us another vote or something else, that's going to be a very bullish catalyst for AMC stock. And we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to an actual price prediction. Now, we're going to go over my base case scenario, best case scenario, and worst case scenarios here in this video as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Stock O tracker data, because obviously April 28th, going to be a very large and important option expiration. And you're looking at about 2,000 calls currently in the money, 96,000 calls that are out the money, 46,000 puts in the money, and 232,000 puts that are out the money. Now, I do expect this option expiration to populate quite a bit after Tuesday in kind of both directions. And I think it's going to be a fairly bullish week. I've been very clear on that. So I do think there is a very strong possibility to see a lot of calls go through and to get you that upside move. Now, if we go ahead and switch gears just a little bit and get into kind of some of the broad market things that will be happening this week, we're going to go over the major catalyst here, because I don't want to spend too much time in this. I really want to get to the price prediction, some of the technical levels as well. You got some bond auctions that come out Monday, 10:30 in the morning, the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Now on Tuesday, you get the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index year over year and month over month, new home sales, as well as Dallas Fed Services, and a 2-year bond auction. This data comes out early in the morning, around 10:30 in the morning. Now, Wednesday, you're going to get durable goods orders month over month for March coming in at 8:30 in the morning. And that's basically going to do it. Now, Thursday, you're going to get the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter advanced numbers for Q1. The markets are currently expecting a 2.3% GDP print. And if this comes in lower than that, you're going to have some big problems, because the whole premise of partially the stock market rally so far is people are like, hey, we're not seeing GDP going down. It does not look like we're going into recession, when a lot of the data we've seen has been very contractionary. So I think any of these data points that are kind of feeding into AMC's narrative or making the markets go down, causing some of this collateral crisis that we've talked about extensively over the last couple of days, will feed into that narrative of AMC and likely help to send us higher, especially if your large tech stocks do take a beat down off some of this data. They're highly collateralized in those AMC short positions. A lot of hedge funds are not putting up cash for their AMC short positions. They're putting up bonds. They're putting up tech stocks, your safe, quote unquote, safety trades, your safety tech stocks like an Apple, I believe is very much collateralized in these AMC short positions, or for these AMC short positions. Now, 8:30 in the morning on Friday. This is going to be a very, very big day. You are going to get the core PC price index month over month, as well as personal income month over month and personal spending month over month. Based off of how these numbers do, you could see a lot more fear again in the markets, which could continue to feed into that collateral crisis narrative. And that's something I will be watching for very closely here in the week ahead. Let's switch gears again back to AMC and talk about some of these FTD numbers as well, get you guys caught up to speed with what they will be looking at. So for tomorrow, we're looking at April 24th, you got about 1.8 million FTDs that do come due, and then you got 1 million FTDs that come due on the 25th, on April 25th. That's going to be when we get a new update from the courts, and you're going to get a dramatic move in AMC stock. Be fully prepared for that. Very dramatic move. Now, Wednesday, 1.6 million FTDs come due. Thursday, 1.2 million FTDs come due. And then on Friday, you have 3 million FTDs that do also come due. So it's going to be quite a bit of failure to deliver activity. And there's no surprise you're seeing a lot of failure to deliver activity over the last couple of weeks. Look at where the data is. Look at where the short interest is. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Which in all reality, should you have FTDs with AMC? No, but there's a lot of activity in AMC, so it's not a huge shocker that we do. Now, if we get into an actual price prediction and look at key levels with AMC stock, now AMC is in a clear and obvious uptrend ever since you did kind of wick down, and this was on April 4th when you kind of fell quite a bit. Right here, 23.5%, it says. Pretty rough day overall. You instantly bounce straight back, and you've been in this uptrend. You've been finding a lot of resistance around that 50 and 100-day moving average, and I do expect that to be the case heading into Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is going to be that big moment. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. You got to look at Monday. If tomorrow is bullish, then I think that's pretty good indication that someone somewhere knows something, and you might get a very bullish Tuesday as well. If Monday is deep in red territory, let's say you fall down to like $4.60 per share, then I would be a little bit more negative heading into Tuesday. But as of right now, it looks pretty dang bullish. You can see just an overall uptrend from here. And I think if we were to get bad news, you're probably going to hang out in this range. You're probably going to see a pretty substantial red day on Monday. So that's the number one thing that I'm going to be watching out for. Now, on a best case scenario kind of basis, right? I think it's very well possible that AMC stock could rally, call it 50% on Tuesday, call it another 25% give or take throughout the rest of the week, because you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs likely, or it just starts the MOAS. But I don't want to get too crazy in the realms of possibility, but that is a possibility as well. Let's just call it a 75% rally is kind of the best case scenario here. That would put the stock at almost $9 per share. That would be a very good week. Keep in mind, when margin calls actually happen, you usually have around 3 days to 3 to 5 days. Hedge funds can get preferred kind of preference, so they might get it like up to a week or 10 days. So you could actually see a bullish event with AMC that could actually take a little bit of time to get shorts massively covering on their short positions. It doesn't take a lot of shorts covering to get a 75% rally. Let's be honest here, 2-3% of the float covering would probably get you 100-150% rally from here, based off of the days to cover, based off of the kind of bullish activity that you would see at the same time, the option activity, right? The failure to deliver, so all the other bullish things, you know, playing into AMC. In the case Tuesday goes well, not a lot of the float will actually have to be covered to get you a pretty big rally. So I think even next week, or not this upcoming week, but the week after that, would be very bullish as well if you've seen a bullish reaction after Tuesday. Now, my base case scenario, I've talked about this before. My base case scenario is for a revote of common stock. Now, a revote of common stock probably ends you around $7 by the end of the week, probably around this 200-day moving average, which is currently at $7.03 per share. And that would be a rally of about 41-ish% from where we currently are. That's kind of my base case scenario for this week. Keep in mind, I could be wrong. Now, if I'm wrong and the courts kind of side with AMC and say AMC was fine, the settlement can go through. We're going to open this up for comments, but we're going to lift the status quo order so you guys can do the reverse split. In that case, AMC likely drops back to about $4.25 per share. That would be kind of the worst case scenario. Well, kind of my base case, worst case scenario. The ultimate worst case scenario would be about $3.75 per share, going back to the lows that we seen in early 2023. That's the absolute worst case scenario. Kind of what I would expect to happen if we get the judge siding with AMC would be around $4.25 per share, $4.30 per share in this range, which would be a sizable drop. I mean, in all reality, that would be a drop of about 15.5% from here. Granted, if Monday is red, it could be an even larger drop, right? But like I said, my base case scenario is another revote of common stock at the very minimum. That could push us to around $7 per share. Fairly easy in my personal opinion, guys. So let me know, what is your best case, base case, worst case scenario for this upcoming week? Thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you guys for being positive, respectful down below in the comment section. I literally cannot thank you guys enough. And honestly, that's a big reason why I don't try to look at the comments all too often, which I do. It's hard to not. It's because some of them are just so negative when I mean, come on now. It's tough. I get it. It's tough. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.